Ladies and gentlemen, please stand, if able, for the processional of the platform party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we honor our country with the singing of the national anthem, performed today by Lucas Graff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Welcome to your university, Montana State. I am Cody Stone, and I am honored to serve not only as Montana State University Extension and State Relations Director, but I'm also honored to serve today as the MC for our events for the investiture. We are delighted to have you with us to celebrate this milestone in the history of Montana State University, the investiture of the 13th president at Montana State, President Brock Tessman. We started this morning in true MSU fashion with a bus tour to celebrate the land grant mission and the investiture of President Tessman. We attended a community breakfast in Three Forks, and the president visited a local school. We celebrated the connection of agriculture and our connection to the state through extension at the Post Farm. We highlighted a generational engagement with a family at MSU, the Osheim family. Last night, the search committee celebrated the committee that brought the Tessmans to MSU. And at this event in the Lay Lounge, you would notice that there are 13 portraits on the one side of the lounge. 6 on one side, 6 on the other, and in the center, a portrait of President Brock Tessman. In our 133-year history as an institution, we have only had 13 presidents. He addressed that group, not with I's and me's, but with we's and us. He stated that this is the place for us, not this is the place for me. This is the place for us, the Tessman family. He talked about colleagues and family. He talked about the connection to our state. He talked about the commitment to this place and the commitment to this university. Don't get me wrong, today is about the he, and it is also about the we and us. To begin this celebration, I'm honored to introduce members representing the Montana University System. Commissioner of Higher Education, Clayton Christian. Chair of the Board of Regents, Todd Buchanan. Regent Dean Folkfort, and Student Regent Carter Jasper. Join us today as we also recognize and welcome several dignitaries and distinguished guests, including Montana Lieutenant Governor Kristen Juras, Bozeman City Mayor Joey Morrison, former MSU First Lady Kathy Malone, former MSU President Jeff Gamble, MSU Billings Chancellor Stephanie Hickswa, Great Falls College MSU Dean Stephanie Erdman, MSU Northern Chancellor Greg Kegel, and staff members from our federal congressional offices representing Senator Daines, Senator Sheehy, and Representative Downing. I would also like to welcome my fellow members of the President's Cabinet that are on the platform with me today, including MSU Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Robert Makwa, MSU Vice President for Research and Economic Development, Allison Harmon, MSU Vice President for Student Success, Steve Swinford, MSU Vice President for Information Technology, Ryan Knutson, MSU Vice President for Administration and Finance, Terry Least, MSU Vice President of Agriculture, Dean of the College of Agriculture, and Director of the Montana Agricultural Extension Stations, Shrikala Bajwa. Please join me in recognizing the academic deans of our colleges. From the College of Arts and Architecture, Dean Adams. From the College of Education, Health, and Human Development, Tricia Seifert. Jake Jabb's College of Business and Entrepreneurship, Brian Gillespie. From the Norm Asbjornson College of Engineering, Brett Gunnick. From the Honors College, Richard Badenhausen. From Gallatin College MSU, Stephanie Gray. The College of Letters and Sciences, William Thomas. The Mark and Robin Jones College of Nursing, Sarah Shannon. Also joining us on the platform are President of ASMSU, Lenny Trium. Chair of MSU Faculty Senate, Rob Maher. Chair of MSU Staff Senate, Kayla Lee. President and CEO of the MSU Alumni Foundation, Fran Albrecht. Dean of the Graduate College, Deborah Haynes. Dean for Global Engagement and International Programs, Sally Mudiami. And our Dean of Students, Matt Kairos. To begin the ceremony today, I'm honored to welcome to the podium MSU Staff Senate Chair Kayla Lee, who will bring greetings from the staff at Montana State University.
Going first. Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Lee, proud Bobcat alum, born and raised right here in the Gallatin Valley. And I have had the honor of serving as your chair of Staff Senate since July 1st of last year, which, as it turns out, was a pretty meaningful day for both of us. It is a privilege to be here today celebrating this moment for both Montana State University and our new president, Dr. Brock Tessman. On behalf of your Staff Senate and staff across the campus, I want to share just how proud we are to serve the Montana State University community. At MSU, being a staff member is more than just a job. It's a commitment to something larger than ourselves. In a community like Bozeman, where this university is deeply woven into our town's identity, working here is a true point of pride. We are the people who keep this place running day in and day out, supporting our ambitious students, our accomplished faculty, and our fellow staff members. Those tending to the buildings and spaces that often work behind the scenes but make everything we do possible. And we don't take that responsibility lightly. It is both a privilege and a purpose we carry with us every day. That's why moments like today matter so much. They mark not just a transition, but the beginning of a partnership. As staff, we are genuinely hopeful and excited about the future we are building together with President Tessman. We see this as a shared effort, one where leadership and staff move forward side by side, guided by a common commitment to making MSU the very best it can be. And in the months since his arrival, we've already begun to see what that partnership can look like in action. President Tessman has shown a clear willingness to engage. He listens thoughtfully, invites ideas, and creates space for meaningful dialogue. And that openness has not gone unnoticed. What has stood out most to us is not just what he says, but how he consistently follows through. In a relatively short time, he has demonstrated that he is ready to do the work alongside us, to ask questions, to learn, to collaborate in ways that strengthen our campus community. That kind of leadership builds trust, and it gives us great confidence in the direction we're heading together. President Tessman, on behalf of your Staff Senate and all staff at Montana State University, thank you for the respect you have shown our community and for the partnership you've already begun to build. We look forward to continuing this work together, supporting our students, strengthening our institution, and shaping a future we can all be proud of. Congratulations on your inauguration, and a heartfelt welcome to the entire Tessman family to our Bobcat community.
Thank you, Kayla. At this time, I would like to invite the Montana State University Faculty Senate Chair, Rob Maher, to the podium, who will bring congratulatory remarks from the faculty at Montana State.
Greetings to our esteemed guests, alumni, friends, students, and all members of the extended family of this institution of higher education. My name is Rob Maher, a professor of electrical and computer engineering, and it is my proud privilege to speak today as chair of MSU Faculty Senate, the elected body representing the academic faculty of MSU. Congratulations, Dr. Tessman. We appreciate your careful discernment of the path that has led you to the presidency of Montana State University. We look forward to your guidance of this institution as our 13th president, now in our 133rd year. as an institution. Like the captain of a sailing vessel, we lift up your ability to recognize storms and icebergs ahead, guiding this ship on an adventuresome and scenic passage, finding calm seas for respite, yes, also bringing challenging opportunities into focus. As you know, the faculty of Montana State University offer a deep reservoir of intellect, skill, honesty, and innovative ideas about the physical world, the artistic world, and the joy of living that we wish for all members of our community. At MSU, all of us carry a civic obligation to uphold the public good, protecting universities as spaces of rigorous inquiry, open debate, and knowledge generation with a commitment to tackle the world's most pressing challenges. President Tessman, we are ready to share in your grand journey of your presidency. Call upon us, rely upon us, and challenge us. With this assembly, we call to mind and honor the first peoples whose homelands we gather upon. Communities that have thrived and continue to thrive in this valley and across this beautiful state. Their enduring relationship with this place reminds us that leadership is not merely a role, but a responsibility carried with wisdom, patience, and foresight. As you fulfill the duties and obligations of the presidency, may these teachings guide your path. As a faculty colleague, I also cite the roles of curiosity, courage, and integrity, qualities rooted in our shared commitment to learning, community, and respect, all in equal measure. I point out the academic motifs and symbolism of this investiture ceremony that harken back to our long inheritance of scholarly pursuit. Even now, in the 21st century, this institution's shared rituals include the heraldry of academic regalia with our colorful hoods and serving as academic banners under which we gather. The ceremonial mace I carried today, as well as our university seal, the Asheim Gate, the M, and our signature logo with the bright flame of knowledge symbolically illuminating the continual and fearless intellectual sifting and winnowing essential to our shared academic mission. In conclusion, as members of one of the last remaining robed professions, judge, religious cleric, and professor, we call upon you to rise to the challenge of your leadership position and to act always under the obligation to serve this academic institution with renewed dedication, integrity, and purpose. Congratulations and best wishes from the faculty of Montana State University.
Thank you, Rob. It is my distinct honor to direct your attention to the side of the stage to introduce the MSU Montanans. The Montanans are Montana State University's premier choral ensemble, known for their expressive sound and commitment to musical storytelling. The Montanans represent the university's dedication to creativity, collaboration, academic rigor, and sharing music that reflects both global traditions and the unique spirit of Montana. Today they will sing a song entitled "Stopping by Woods" by Michigan composer Catherine McMichael. What an exceptional performance. Thank you so much to the MSU Montanans, including saxophonist Wonky Lee, pianist Aaron Hankey, and conductor Lucas Groff. How about one more round of applause? Our next speaker is the president of the Associated Students of Montana State University, Lenny Trium. Lenny is in his senior year, majoring in microbiology and music. Please help me in welcoming Lenny to the podium, who brings remarks on behalf of the students of Montana State University.
My name is Lenny, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Associated Students of MSU. On behalf of the more than 16,000 students we represent, it is my honor to offer our congratulations on this investiture and on the beginning of your presidency, President Tessman. President, thank you for accepting the responsibility of leading this university. For students, the decisions made by a university president about budgets, priorities, and how this institution serves its students shape our experience here every day. That's why this occasion matters to us. You're stepping into this role at a moment when Montana State is strong. Record enrollment, nationally recognized research, and a student body that cares deeply about this place and its future. From our earliest interactions, you have shown a sincere respect for students and for the role they play in this community. In your first months here, you've led with listening, meeting with students, and seeking to understand the institution you have been entrusted to lead. That has meant a great deal to us, and it gives us confidence as you begin your presidency. ASMSU exists to represent those students and to serve as a bridge between the student body and university leadership. We will be a faithful partner to your administration, celebrating progress and offering an honest student perspective as MSU begins its next chapter. So today, on behalf of the students of Montana State University, I offer both our congratulations and our support. We're glad to welcome you into this presidency, and we are hopeful for what your leadership will make possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny. At this time, I would like to call Chair of the Board of Regents, Todd Buchanan, to the podium to deliver remarks on behalf of the Montana University System and the Board of Regents.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of Bobcat Nation, faculty, staff, students, honored guests, and friends from across Montana. Good afternoon. On behalf of the people of Montana, it is an absolute honor to welcome you to this special day at Montana State University and to congratulate our new president on his investiture. Today we celebrate not only a chapter in university leadership, but also the enduring promise of higher education to transform lives, communities, and our state. Montana is a place of wide open landscapes and close-knit communities. We are a state built by people who value hard work, practical solutions, and caring for one another. Those same values are at the heart of MSU's mission, educating students, discovering knowledge, and serving the public good. As president, you inherit a great university and a great responsibility to lead in ways that are bold, accountable, and deeply rooted in Montana's spirit. We look to MSU to prepare the next generation of leaders, to advance research that strengthens our economy and environment, and to be a partner to Montana's ranches, towns, and industries. We expect leadership that will expand opportunity for all students, embrace innovation in teaching and research, and deepen the university's connections across the state from our tribal nations to our rural communities and urban centers. Today is also a reminder that universities thrive when they listen to students, faculty, staff, alumni, and the communities they serve. We ask that you lead with compassion and a commitment to excellence, a willingness to work together to meet Montana's challenges. Those challenges range from workforce development to the stewardship of our natural resources. Although it feels like you've been with us a few months, President Tessman, it is such a pleasure to welcome you, Kristen, Francis, and Leona back to Montana. And with great enthusiasm, we pledge our support, our ideas, and our energy as you guide MSU forward. May your tenure be marked by opportunity, partnership, and lasting benefit to this university and to the people of this great state. Go Bobcats!
Thank you, Regent Buchanan. At Montana State, we take pride in serving all of our students, including the largest number of American Indian, Alaskan Native students in the state of Montana. We acknowledge, with respect, the indigenous nations on whose traditional lands the university stands today. In honor of President Tessman's investiture, you are kindly invited to stand, if able, for a special honor song performed by the Bobcat Singers. Thank you so much to the Bobcat Singers for that honor song. At this time, I would like to introduce the 9th Commissioner of Higher Education and longest serving, Clayton Christian. Clayton has served the Montana University system since 2012 and is a nationally recognized leader in higher education governance. Please help me in welcoming Commissioner Christian to the podium.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Executive Director Stone. I'd like to just start by taking a moment to recognize and thank the Presidential Search Advisory Committee for their outstanding work. I'm grateful to have served alongside of all of you. I'm proud of what we accomplished together, and I'm truly honored to be here today at this moment. There are several symbolic items being used in today's ceremony, but I'd like to call your attention to the most symbolic of all of them, and that is the Presidential Medallion. In just a moment, we'll confer the Presidential Medallion upon President Tessman. This specific medallion was designed in honor of President Michael P. Malone by former MSU professor and department head Richard Helzer. The medallion is made entirely from sterling silver, copper, and ice blue sapphires, all precious metals and stones found in Montana. It incorporates elements of Montana State University's land grant tradition and the date of the university's founding. The names of each president are etched on the back of the medallion. I'd like to invite to the stage at this moment, if I may, President Tessman, Kristen Tessman, and their daughters, Frances and Leona. Welcome. At this time, I would ask that President Tessman's mother, Deidre Tessman, and his sister, Brooke Tessman, bring the Presidential Medallion to the stage and hand it to Kristen, who will confer the President Tessman with the Presidential Medallion, which shall be worn at all commencements, convocations, and other ceremonial events. We're ready. Well done. Thank you, Kristen. Well done. Today, for the presidential oath, we'll be using the University Bible, which was owned by James Reed, MSU's second president, in 1894. The Bible has been gifted to every president since then at their inauguration and is housed in the university archives and special collections. Kristen, if you would you please bring forward the University Bible so I can administer the presidential oath of office. President Tessman, if you would place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of Montana State University, Montana's land grant university. I will, to the best of my ability, advance the university by a commitment to its mission of teaching, research, and service.
by a commitment to its mission of teaching, research, and service.
As Commissioner of Higher Education, acting on behalf of the Board of Regents, the Montana University System, and on behalf of the students, faculty, and staff, on this second day of April 2026, I hereby install Brock Tessman as the 13th President of Montana State University, and I vest in you all the authority, rights, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Brock, congratulations. Never want to
All right, we're not.
All right.
Good job, buddy. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're here.
Ladies,
Give me a hug.
thank you.
I love you. I'm okay.
I would like to call to the podium Jeff Corpy, Associate Vice President of Student Experience at Northern Michigan University, who will introduce President Tessman.
Really an honor and a privilege to be here for the last couple of days, and not just to be able to deliver this introduction, but to have met so many people who have true spirit and energy for serving not only the people of the state, but your students. That is so clear and so obvious. And so the folks in the room that serve students, great job. Keep it up. But good afternoon. It's an honor to be here for such an important moment at Montana State University. It's been about 8 months since Brock and his family left our campus, and I'll be honest, something's been missing. A certain warmth, a curiosity and spirit, a rush of energy hurrying through the hallways, bringing life, humor, and charm and wit into every space, a little bit of mischief at times, and a whole lot of heart. And of course, I'm talking about Francis and Leona. I miss my little partners in crime. I want to say this up front. It's not my desire or my intention to stand up here or want to talk about myself, but I'm going to tell a bit of my story because it's the best way I know how to show just how deeply I believe in higher education, institutions of access, and in Brock Tessman. So let me start where my story begins. It starts with a little bit of grit. I grew up in South Texas, the son of a young single mother, living with my grandma Yaya and grandpa, who was quite literally on the run, a fugitive for something that, in its own unique way, was actually quite noble, but nonetheless forced us to flee Michigan when I was a baby and left us navigating a complicated path. Because of that, my childhood wasn't always steady. There was a lot of bouncing around, which didn't lend itself to understanding or valuing just how life-changing education could be. Now, where my childhood may have lacked an opportunity, it didn't lack in love or care, and it had this something to it that not many people can say they've experienced. Because of us having to flee Michigan for Texas, quite literally in the middle of the night, my great-grandmother was left behind. So for 14 summers, from the ages of 3 to 17, my grandmother and I would travel 2.5 days, one way by Greyhound bus, to spend the summers with her. Not for a vacation, because we didn't have that kind of resources, and not always for fun. But those trips brought me to a place with more opportunity, a place where maybe, just maybe, I could make it out. And over time, I started to understand what those trips really were. I learned about fresh starts and how new, meaningful opportunities could be life-changing. And as I got older, I began to understand her sacrifice, because traveling by bus with a young, curious kid for all those summers could not have been easy. What my grandmother was trying to teach me is that you can't just open doors for people, you need to bring them along. She brought me along. My life would continue to be shaped by people who didn't just open doors for me, but rather walk through them with me. When it came time to choose a college, and that's really not putting it fairly, I only applied to one place, and it had less to do with the university and more to do with where my grandma was because she needed a caretaker. She had moved back to Michigan after my grandfather passed, and after high school, there was really only one place I wanted to be. With her trying in some small way to pay back what she'd done for me. So I made the decision to move in with her and only half-heartedly attend college. And I mean that, half-heartedly. Yeah. I was a first-generation student, and I didn't know how to be a student. I didn't know how to navigate the system. I was still carrying my grit with me, and I didn't know how to channel it. I bounced between 4 or 5 different majors, failed a few classes, and was on the verge of getting kicked out a couple of times. And then I met someone, Carl Holm, the longtime director of housing. It was a chance meeting, and without it, I'm not standing here today. I'm quite certain I would have ended up back in Texas, probably not making much of myself. I can't cleanly summarize that all Carl did for me in my allotted time here, but Brock knows, and let's just say this. Carl didn't just point me in the right direction, he walked with me. He put opportunities in my path, he took chances on me, and he pulled me away from dropping out and inspired my career in student affairs. And in doing so, he taught me a few simple trademarks. Students are a lot like people. I love that one. People support what they help create, and you never know what small thing you can do for someone that might change the trajectory of their life. I was under Carl's wing for 12 years before he retired and had the privilege of serving in the position he had long served in for 27 years. Quite the distance traveled from nearly dropping out just a few years prior. He brought me along, and in doing so, he showed me to do the same for students, how to recognize when someone has that something in them, even if they don't see it yet. So years later, when Brock arrived on our campus and I had the chance to work with him, it did not take me long to see those same qualities, not because of how he worked with me, but because how he showed up for others, the way he made students feel seen, important, and like they mattered. In short time, our students started calling him the Brock Star. I'm sorry. Stopping him across campus to take selfies. He wasn't 10 minutes late for a meeting because the previous meeting ran over. It was because he had to stop for 10 selfies along the way, all right? And I remember thinking, I've seen this before. Carl used to say, students are a lot like people. It's a simple statement, but profound in its simplicity. It was clear to me right away, Brock believes this too. He sees students as people. He doesn't just take them at face value. He appreciates their depth and values their stories, their vulnerabilities, and their authenticity. He understands that this work, our work, is about creating opportunity and bringing people along. I had the sincere privilege to serve on Brock's leadership team a few months into his presidency, and during that time, Brock set the table for our campus to host a very well-known business leader, a titan of industry, our most prominent alumnus, someone who hadn't been back to campus since the mid-1990s. This would be a very important visit for our campus, an opportunity for NMU. We could have centered this visit on a lot of things, all the obvious ones. We could have showcased facilities, everything that had been renovated or changed or built new. We could have highlighted faculty accomplishments, research, talked about growth and investment, all the things that are so easy to point to. Brock didn't want to do that. From the very beginning, it was clear. This visit was going to be about our students, their stories, their experiences, how college had changed their lives. And what stood out to me the most, every one of the students we showcased in their own way told a version of the same story. Someone saw them, someone believed in them, someone gave them an opportunity when they needed it most. Someone brought them along. At that visit's conclusion, Brock and I were giving this individual a ride out to the airport, and as we're pulling up past security and up to their private jet, this alumnus says, "Would you guys like to come on board and have a cup of coffee?" I catch Brock in the rearview mirror, cool as ever, and he says, "Yeah, I think we got time for that." Next thing I know, we're taking our shoes off, I don't know why, on the runway, stepping onto a billionaire's jet, and there I am, shoeless, sitting in disbelief, drinking the best cup of coffee I've ever had on a billionaire's plane. And I had this moment. How did I get from a Greyhound bus to this altitude? I thought about those summers riding with my grandma, the people, the opportunities that got me here. And as different as a Greyhound bus is from a private jet, what stood out to me was this. It's about where you're sitting. The common thread is that you didn't get there alone. People brought you along. Brock brought me along. Not just by giving me the opportunity to serve on his leadership team, but by preparing me for moments like that, by trusting me, by including me, by making sure I didn't just enter the room, but belonged in it. Now, we talk about access, but access isn't just opening the door, it's walking through it together. It's bringing people along. And in this day and age, we need that more than ever. In Montana State, I'm here to tell you that's what you're getting in Brock Tessman. A leader who sees students as people, a leader who builds opportunity, a leader who brings people along. Brock. My life is a reflection of those who chose to do that for me. My grandmother, Carl, the students I've had the privilege to serve over the last 26 years, and you. That's the kind of leadership that changes lives. And I have no doubt this isn't just something Brock did for me, it's who he is. And it's exactly what he's going to do and bring to Montana State. He will see your students, he will invest in them, and he will bring them along. Thank you for believing in me, for preparing me for the moments I never saw coming, and for bringing me and my family, my wife Katie, my son Luke, along so we can share on this important day with you, your family, and Montana State University. It is my sincere honor to introduce the 13th president of Montana State University, Dr. Brock Tessman.
Jeff, you're a tough man to follow. I don't mind following a lot of people. You're a tough act for me to follow. I am so deeply appreciative of you. That introduction, I'm so happy that you and Katie and Luke are here. You know, I have a whole speech in front of me, but even with that entire speech ahead of me, I do want to kick some things off and reflect on some relationships and some people that have brought us all together today. And maybe it's just because I've gotten a little bit older along the way, but I've learned that it's really important in these moments to express gratitude directly, sometimes indirectly, but vocally to the people that you care most about. And Jeff, I think you know this. And in my script, it says that I care about you. I love you, Jeff. I do. And I am so happy for you to be here. I'm so happy because every day I can say I believe in you. The things that you do, the way that you support your students and your family. And I think I see some of those ways in a way that other people can't. There's more that I could get into right now. But I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to let everyone in this room know that a lot of what I'll bring to this university over the coming years is because of what I learned from Jeff Corpy. I'm so glad you're here. Katie, Luke, thank you. So there are a lot of people in the room to whom I'm eternally grateful, and without whom I would not be the man, the dad, the husband, or the president that I am today. I don't have the time to thank everyone, and honestly, I'm not an overly emotional person, but I don't have the emotional constitution to express all the gratitude in this setting, but I do ask for your indulgence. I'm going to take a little bit of time to thank people who are very special to me professionally and personally. Professionally, there are debts that I'll probably never be able to repay. Commissioner Christian, in a lot of ways, we're pretty different, but in the really key ways, we're very much the same. And you are, without a doubt, the best boss and the best mentor that I've ever had. And I can say this, Montana's colleges and universities, our higher education system would not be as strong as they are today if it were not for you and your leadership. Thank you. Thanks, Clay. And you've got a whole team working for you. The team at Ochi, you know that I miss you. I'm grateful that we're back in the state of Montana working together again. I also want to recognize our fantastic Lieutenant Governor, Kristen Juris, who's here with us, along with representatives from our federal congressional delegation. Thank you for being here today and helping us celebrate. To my former colleagues at Northern Michigan University, Jeff, you're here. Dr. Sean Reese Butler is here. Ruben is here. But many of you are not here. And I want you all to know, if you see this, I miss our work together, even as I feel full of joy and inspiration here at Montana State University in Bozeman. And one of the reasons that I feel so much joy and inspiration, I don't tell this group enough, it's the leadership team on this campus that I get a chance to work with every single day. To my executive team, you know who you are. You were uncertain, I'm sure, about a new president, and you had every right to be. You could have handled my arrival in any kind of way, but I will never, ever forget how you welcomed me into this exceptionally high-functioning, incredibly hard-working group. We bust our tails together every day and almost every night and most weekends, and I could not feel luckier than to be in this arena with you all. Thank you. And before I move on, I want to say something else. And today is about Montana State University's 13th president. That happens to be me. But that doesn't happen in a vacuum. We're charging forward in so many exciting ways, improving on past successes, but that success is built on the shoulders of leaders who've come before us. And I want you all to join me in giving a raucous, well-deserved cheer for 3 of those tremendous leaders. Our 10th president, the late Michael Malone, whose wife Kathy is here with us today, as well as our 11th president, Dr. Jeff Gamble, who's here with us today, and of course, our 12th president, who could not be here today, but who's certainly here in spirit. Let's give a loud round of applause to those 3 individuals, including Dr. Waded Cruzado. Thank you all. Kathy, Jeff, and Waded, if you're watching, thank you so much. I'm going to shift gears a little bit now. And the lights are bright here. I wish I could see more directly. But Kristen, my fantastic, lovely, loyal, patient, brilliant wife, you and I certainly do not sail in smooth seas. But we adventure together in a way that I think is unrivaled. I would not be here without the way we work as partners, as parents, and the way that you lead our family. And I would not be here either without all of your good ideas. Thank you, Kristen. Francis and Leona, you know this. You're the light in my heart. You're the fire in my belly. You're both getting a little bit older, which is a good thing. And I feel this. It's not always top of mind to give me an extra hug when I'm dropping you off at school. Sometimes there's a little less snuggling before bedtime. But I feel like we're closer than we've ever been. And I feel so proud of the human beings that you're both becoming. There are a lot of big ideas about the future that I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes. But the fact that you two exist allows me to talk about even the most challenging ones full of unwavering optimism. I love you both so much. Thank you, Francis and Leona. And to my mom, Deidre Tessman, I can still remember you walking across a stage a little bit like this, stage in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I think it was a nighttime ceremony. You were getting your MBA from the University of Michigan. You did this while working full-time, of course, raising both Brooke and myself. And I think I was probably 5 years old, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And remembering that night, it was probably one of my first my mom can do anything moments, but it was definitely not my last. You went on, you got your PhD, you developed cancer treatments, you started your own company, and all the while you showed Brooke and you showed me what it meant to drive hard and work, but reserve the highest quality time for your family. And I try to emulate that. Mom, I love you. Thank you. And to my sister, Brooke, I could not ask for a more understanding, loving, kinder big sister. You're always looking out for me in good times and not so good times, and you're always looking out for others as well. You do that often before looking out for yourself, but I also love how you love you. And one of your most famous sayings will always stick with me. You've been saying it forever. I am who I am, and I'm glad, and I love you for it. I love you, Brooke. Yeah. And Morgan, that goes for you as well. My sister is here with her fiance, Morgan Davine. You are a perfect teammate for Brooke. Our family loves you. I'm so happy that you're here to celebrate with us. Others, my two best friends, Dave and Steve, we still, in my opinion, live a little bit too far away from each other, but we're pulling it back together slowly. And I miss you guys. I lean on you. I lean on the lessons that we learned on the track and off the track a lot more often than you both know. And I know we all want this. Let's make a point of spending some more time together in the coming years. To the Cordingleys, Tom, Lisa, Katie's here, Will is here in spirit. You all are at the heart of why our family is here in Montana today. And I think you remember we said a really tearful goodbye at that Thanksgiving about 3.5 years ago or so. And you were the first to welcome us back with a big hug when I was in Bozeman about a year ago for my interview on campus. It means so much to me that you're here. I love you guys. And there are so many others that I could thank today. A few who I know wanted to make the trip. The weather hung in there. I'm not sure if they did. Jeff Roth is here, a great friend from Missoula. Thank you, Jeff, for being rock solid and always a great source of guidance. Mike Friedberg, I did see a little bit earlier. Mike, thank you for making the trip from Colorado. Other than what are woefully inadequate skills at the game of Risk, I consider you an inspiration, and you know why. And then there are a few people who are not here today, and I'm going to keep this short. But I want to pass some thanks along to those folks as well. To Mike and Christy Roberts, who are Kristen's parents, her brothers Logan, Michael, and Tate, for allowing me to brag every day, as I do, about how I won the in-law lottery. They are fantastic. I get support from them every day. And I'm going to wrap up with one other thanks in absentia. It's about my dad. Okay, so my dad, George Tessman. I wish he was still with us so he could be here today celebrating. And one of my only regrets in life, and it's not something that I can fix no matter how hard I try, is that my dad didn't live long enough to meet my fantastic daughters, our girls, Francis and Leona. He would have been a terrific grandpa, and I still consider him to be one of my very best friends. I think he would have gotten a real kick out of my get up today, out of this whole university president thing, and hopefully not too soon, but I'm going to ask him about all that someday when I get to see him again. Okay, let's get to it. 133 years ago, the Montana legislature did something that would shape the destiny of this state. They established Montana State University, the agricultural college of the state of Montana as it was then known. A land-grant institution born from the conviction that the people of this new and rugged state deserved access to the very best education that the nation could provide. The land grant idea was a bit older, of course. Abraham Lincoln signed the Morrill Act in 1862, right in the middle of the Civil War. He wanted to create universities that would democratize access to knowledge and bring the power of education to every farmer and miner and working family in America. And Montana State was built from that blueprint. On this particular piece of earth, at the foot of these particular mountains, to serve this particular people. And serve them we have. For 133 years, MSU has been the place where Montana's brightest young minds come to be challenged and expanded, where ranchers' kids become scientists, where first-generation college students become nurses, engineers, teachers, and leaders, where curiosity gets cultivated, and where knowledge gets put to work. Today, that mission is more alive than ever. Our enrollment, in case you haven't heard, is growing. Our retention rates are at record highs. Our graduation rates are among the finest we have ever recorded and some of the best among our peer universities. Our faculty are truly among the most talented in the country. They bring a rare and genuine dual commitment to being outstanding teachers and producing research and creative scholarship that matters in fields as varied as music and the fine arts, precision agriculture, national security, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence. Montana State faculty are producing work that is recognized not just in Bozeman, but around the world. And we're investing too in the places and spaces that make all of this possible. This breathtaking campus, and it is so hard to believe this campus, it is itself an argument for what a great university can be. New buildings and reimagined spaces are rising across our grounds, and every one of them is a statement of confidence in our students and in our future. We are also deeply committed to what I call the heroic professions, the callings that keep Montana communities healthy, educated, safe, and vibrant. Our programs in education, nursing, entrepreneurship, and soon, a new law enforcement academy. Public safety, all of this is producing graduates that Montana communities depend on. And these are not abstract contributions. They are felt in every classroom, every clinic, every business, and every sheriff's office across the state. And how about those Bobcats? Our student athletes are competing at the highest levels, on the field, on the court, and yes, also in the classroom. Not to speak of their service to their communities and their lives beyond sport. And listen to this. Last month, this is a long-standing celebration, but we celebrated all of the Bobcat student athletes who earned straight A's. It was 91 of our student athletes who earned straight A's last semester. I am still awestruck by that number. And of course, I've enjoyed a lot of competitive successes in this first year on the job as well, across all the sports. From football, and volleyball, cross country, basketball, skiing, tennis, and track and field, a sport that I have strong feelings about. Our student athletes are champions in every sense of the word, and they make us proud in every season. And I can still feel in the depths of my jaw, and I mean literally on this part of my jaw, about right here, the joy of our Bobcat football team's national championship in Nashville. I spent the whole game on the sidelines, and through the depths of that agonizing fourth quarter, things kept looking gloomier and gloomier. And then it happened. We got a hand on that field goal. We blocked it, and we regained just a semblance of momentum. Now, there was a lot of the story yet to be written, but at that moment, I knew we had a good shot. And I spun around, I went bananas, and for some reason, I looked for someone to tackle. I sprinted right towards my target, and he was unaware of the fact I was sprinting right at him. And I'm not sure he's here today, and in fact, I'm pretty sure he's not here today. But to Tyler Trevor in Helena, Montana, I again say, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. We both hit the ground really hard. I knocked my jaw out of place and lost my best pair of glasses, so I'm left with this pair that doesn't help me much these days. But heck, we won. It was an amazing experience, and as I say, it showed us all what is possible. What's possible when a group of talented, hardworking human beings stick together through adversity and exhibit the will to win. I appreciate so many things about this place, but in my first 9 months here, I have fallen in love with Bobcat athletics. Let there be no doubt about that. And I don't want to just speak about this institution solely in the sense of athletics or just in the abstract. Let's talk about Bobcats themselves. And there are 4 Bobcats who, for me, capture everything I mean when I say Montana State University is a university on the rise. And it just so happens, I'm not sure how this worked out, but it just so happens that those 4 Bobcats are here with us today to help celebrate. And I'd ask each of them to stand up and be recognized for their contributions to the university. Dorianne, Christine, Mackenzie, Kevin, can you stand up and be recognized? I'm going to talk about you in a second, but stand up. Okay. All right. I'm going to talk more about your story now. I wanted to make sure you had a chance to stand up and be recognized. I'm going to start with Christine Lux. Good to see you too, Nick. Christine Lux is an associate professor of early childhood education in our College of Education, Health and Human Development. She holds the Don and Sue Fisher Endowed Professorship, and she recently won MSU's Phi Kappa Phi Distinguished Teaching Award. It's an honor given not merely for what happens inside the classroom, but also for the way a professor influences those beyond the classroom. And Dr. Lux takes students out of lecture halls and puts them in the field, where they work directly with young children, lead developmental activities, and observe great teaching in action, modeling, mentoring, and connecting the theory of their coursework to the irreducible reality of a child's life. She goes wherever her students are, and she makes them better because of it. Christine, you are an incredible example of what excellence in Bobcat teaching looks like. Thank you so much. And let me talk to you a little bit about Mackenzie Spence. So Mackenzie Spence has an entourage. Mackenzie Spence grew up in Alberton, Montana, which has a population of about 450. She tells the story of arriving at MSU, and like a lot of other students, she realized that her North Hedges residence hall had more people living in it than her entire hometown. And today, Mackenzie coordinates our TRIO Student Support Services program and chairs our first-generation student committee. She's become one of the most important advocates on this campus for students navigating their higher education without this kind of inherent roadmap that comes along with having a parent who's traveled that road before. Mackenzie calls it the hidden curriculum, the things that no one tells you about, like what office hours are, or what it means to be at a research university. About 18% of our Bobcat students are first-generation students, the first undergraduates in their family to pursue a 4-year degree. And Mackenzie, you're helping them find their way. And you do it all while you're also pursuing your own doctorate in adult and higher education at Montana State University with a focus on rural education. I think about Mackenzie when I think about someone who keeps building a better future for herself, certainly, but for the students she serves and for our entire university. Thank you so much, Mackenzie Spence. Well, and this is a person who's here to represent a program. But think about a program that reflects best the strength of our commitment to our land-grant mission. Montana Shakespeare in the Parks, led by Kevin Aslan, who's here, allows our great university to extend its reach beyond campus and into the heart of our state. Born from our College of Arts and Architecture, the program brings professional theater to 64 rural communities across 5 states. Places like Ekalaka, Malta, Fishtail, and Colstrip. Towns where free performance under a beautiful summer sky is no small thing. And it is, for many families, the cultural event of the year. Through Shakespeare in the Schools, the program brings workshops and live performances to 50 middle and high schools, from Bainville Public Schools to the Pine Hills Youth Correctional Facility in Miles City, offering young people in every corner of the state an encounter with the transformative power of the arts. That is Montana State at work across Montana. Kevin, thanks to you and the entire team for Montana Shakespeare in the Parks. Okay. And finally, let me introduce you to someone that I've gotten to know just a little bit over the last year. Let me introduce you to Dorianne Kaiser, Montana State's most recent Rhodes Scholar. Dorianne grew up on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation, and she came to Montana State majoring in psychology and community health with a vision as clear as it was personal. She would return home one day as a clinical psychologist, and she would build the kind of mental health infrastructure in her community that had not been there for her family when it needed it most. She concluded her undergraduate research here. She led outreach programs teaching engineering and drone programming. I'm not sure I knew that part. To Indigenous 5th and 6th graders. She tutored her peers. She served in student government. She earned a Udall scholarship. She spent a semester in Thailand and flew 20 hours back to Seattle for her final Rhodes interview. And then she got it. And Dorianne is the 12th Rhodes Scholar in Montana State's history and our 5th in the last 20 years. There are only 2 land-grant universities in the entire country who have more during that time. And Dorianne, actually, we just chatted yesterday, found out for sure she's heading to Oxford University to study social policies that can transform communities like the one she came from. As the Honors College's Stephen Davis said of her, Dorianne embodies the best that MSU has to offer, and she's going to use every bit of it to lift up the people that she loves. Thank you, Dorianne. So thanks for letting me share a little bit about Montana State University by introducing these tremendous Bobcats. I hope it provided a small window into the soul of this university. So now I want to talk about why this matters, why it matters beyond our campus, beyond Bozeman, and even beyond the borders of Montana. There's an idea at the heart of this republic, and it's never been fully proven or disproven. But we know it as the American experiment. And its central question is deceptively simple. Can a self-governing people actually thrive? Can ordinary people, not aristocrats, not enlightened ruling class, but ranchers and shopkeepers, miners and teachers, nurses and entrepreneurs, can they govern themselves wisely, build communities worth living in, and pass on something better to the next generation? Those questions are not settled. The American experiment is not over. Its outcomes are not settled. And I believe with full conviction that its future depends in no small part on institutions like this one, on land-grant universities. Think about what a land grant is at its core. I see it as a democratic wager. It is our society saying we will not keep the highest knowledge in the hands of a few. We will not build a great university only for the sons and daughters of privilege. We will take the promise of the Moral Act seriously, and we will create institutions that serve the people, all the people, and make them more capable, more informed, and more empowered to shape their lives and their communities. If the American experiment is about whether self-governing people can thrive, then I see land-grant universities as the engines designed to make sure that the answer is yes. And Montana State, I would argue, is uniquely prepared to make good on that promise right now, and here's why. Many universities, including a number of our land-grant peers, have, over the decades, quietly narrowed their missions. They've become more selective, more exclusive. and more focused on metrics that reward turning students away. They have, in a meaningful sense, lifted the ladder of opportunity so that only a carefully curated group of students gets to climb it. Montana State University has not done that. We remain open access. Any student in Montana who has the desire to earn their future through education can walk through our doors. And we have done that while producing outcomes that rival far more selective institutions. That is the democratization of knowledge in action, and it does not stop at our doors. Our fastest growing research efforts are in the areas that make the most difference for the most Montanans. Our artistic and architectural contributions have literally built and shaped the state we know today. In agriculture, we are pioneering precision approaches that help our ranchers and farmers do more with less and sustain the land that they love for generations who will follow them. In national security, our work in quantum computing through Q-Core, in cybersecurity, and in photonics and optics through Optech is putting Montana State at the very frontier of the fields that will define America's strength and security in the decades ahead. And every single day, I love this part, and every single day, in all 56 of Montana's counties, our MSU extension offices are doing what land grants were meant to do. Listen to the communities they serve, understand their needs, and then take the knowledge out of the laboratory and the lecture hall and get it into the hands of the farmers, ranchers, families, and community leaders who need it most. Montana State University is not simply a great university. It is, at this moment, in this place, one of the most consequential institutions in the country for the health of the American experiment itself. And that, as your 13th president, is not a responsibility that I take lightly. And in fact, that is the reason I've chosen to stand here in front of you today, now. I've told you all about Montana State University and how uniquely positioned we are to support the American experiment at this crucial moment in our nation's life. And I mean every word of that. We still may not be ready for what is coming. And I'm not talking about the ideas that have occupied discussions and meeting rooms from higher education for years. The so-called demographic cliff, the erosion of public trust in universities. Those are real issues, and we take them very seriously. But our hard work, our connection to the state, it's producing real positive results. And I look at the thousands of Montana families who have made Montana State their first choice, who drive their students to this campus every August with pride and hope in this community, in this state, and I know that they believe in what we're doing here. The headwinds we hear about most often are certainly real, and they're certainly strong. But I believe our discipline, our quality, and our mission is stronger. So when I say that we need to be ready for a truly transformative challenge, one that may decide the fate of the American experiment, I mean the explosive emergence of artificial intelligence and its educational, economic, cultural, ethical, and humanistic consequences. We need to become ready to lead at a time when leadership is hard to find because there is no roadmap to follow. I don't have the answers to reveal to you today. And my guess is that you don't either. But we're not alone. The answers aren't coming. They're not coming from Silicon Valley or from Washington, D.C. It's up to us to get to work. And what are we going to work on? And I want to be precise here. When most people think about AI, they think about chatbots or about students submitting essays written by a large language model or about adjusting our assignments and assessments. And yes, those are real challenges. We're working on them right now, quite hard, in fact. We're doing it thoughtfully. We're doing it creatively. We're doing it every single day on this campus. But what keeps me up at night is the full arc of where this technology is going and how fast it is going there. We have moved with breathtaking speed from generative AI, systems that design, write, analyze, and create, to agentic AI. This AI, agentic AI, doesn't just respond to a prompt. It takes initiative. It makes plans. It executes, and then it adjusts in order to get better. Today, right now, AI agents are doing accounting work, legal work, drawing schematics, producing visual art and music with speed and, in some cases, sophistication that is genuinely humbling. And I want to be precise here as well. We are not only talking about technical fields. We're talking about virtually every discipline taught on this campus. Pre-law, business, architecture, music composition, nursing informatics, agricultural sciences. The AI wave will wash up on the shore of all of these programs at our university and more. And economists will tell you that the trades and manufacturing and service sectors are not safe harbors. After generative and agentic AI, the next wave, already beginning to crest, is physical AI in the field of robotics. Smart, skilled, dexterous, reliable, and endlessly trainable. A few weeks ago, this is just wild. A few weeks ago, I was out in the Bay Area and I had a chance to preview something extraordinary. A kind of digital world that's called the Omniverse. This is a virtual world with every terrain type, weather condition, lighting scenario, all operating according to the laws of physics. And within the Omniverse, millions of virtual robots are training around the clock every single day, learning to walk down a rutted road, to perform a precise weld, to plant seeds in varying soil conditions. And those virtual robots, I'll stop here, they're digital twins. So that as they learn in this virtual world, they're connected to robots in the real world, which are learning right alongside them. It's an accelerated adaptation curve unlike anything in history, and it will produce robots capable of performing tasks that we will long assume can only be done by human hands. And this is so inspiring for me. It is also so daunting. And here's what I want you to hear. It does not matter whether we find this to be mostly inspiring or mostly daunting. What matters is that this transformation is not on the agenda for a decade down the road when Francis and Leona are heading to college. Go Bobcats. This is within 3 to 5 years, and perhaps sooner. Physical AI, advanced robotics, coupled with an almost unimaginable computational power that's coming along with the quantum revolution, which I should mention MSU is leading. Physical AI will begin reshaping agriculture, manufacturing, the trades, and service industries in profound ways. And we're already seeing the tremors of this transformation in the labor market. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, we saw layoffs across the software and technology sectors. Entry-level and early career positions are particularly vulnerable right now. Those are the very positions that we've been counting on as the reliable on-ramp to a professional career for our graduates. And when I talk to our industry partners, I hear consistently and urgently that they want employees who, in addition to all of the technical skills and foundational knowledge that comes along with an MSU degree, are also fluent in AI. People who can walk into an organization and find new ways for AI to improve outcomes. Not people who are intimidated or pretend the tools don't exist, but people who can wield them with confidence and judgment. And it is not only the labor market AI is reshaping, it's the way that governments and communities function. Just last week at a major AI symposium hosted here on our campus, we had an opportunity to watch a number of presentations that were presented as part of our new Institute on Artificial Intelligence. And one of those presentations was all about judges and the use of artificial intelligence by judges. Those judges, in some cases, are referencing precedents. They do that all the time. And they use those precedents to write opinions, to shape outcomes. And those precedents are often real. Mostly they're real. Occasionally, they're hallucinations. AI has produced false precedents that judges lean on, and those precedents become part of law and trickle into our judicial system. AI is not dangerous only for something as sacred as our judicial system. It helps us improve efficiency, reduce important case backlogs that have delayed justice for years. But it has produced these troubling outcomes. Hallucinations in our court system, establishing legal precedent based on fiction. These outcomes have real consequences. They strike at the foundation, a pillar of our legal system, and by extension, a foundation of our democracy. And there are lots more examples of the way AI is right now challenging, maybe even shaking the hopes and dreams behind our American experiment. I just want to touch on one more dimension that I think we often overlook and the policy conversation is not focused on, and it's the deeply personal dimension of AI. AI is moving into our lives not just as a productivity tool, but as a companion. Chatbots are becoming best friends, sources of guidance and counsel that once belonged to a parent, a mentor, a pastor, or a trusted friend. That is not science fiction. That is happening right now. It's happening on this college campus. And none of this is to say that we should view this transformation only as a threat to our thriving future. We are becoming more efficient, like I said, more reliable, and in measurable ways, much safer. We have at our fingertips the potential to address some of the thorniest challenges facing Montana in our country and humanity. There is enormous opportunity in this moment. Enormous. But whether you share my optimism or whether you find yourself more in the daunted camp, both of those reactions are pretty understandable. I have both of them in the same day, the same hour, the same minute many times. Let me make one thing unmistakably clear. The AI transformation, generative, agentic, physical, it is happening. It's happening now, and it will continue even if we choose to minimally respond or attempt to wait it out with our heads down and our fingers crossed. If Montana State University or the state of Montana disengages or drags our feet, then we are making a decision to let this transformation happen to us. Make no mistake, it will happen. It will just happen in that case being driven by someone else's priorities, with someone else's innovations, someone else's values and ethics at the wheel. Do we want the kids growing up in Bozeman and Belgrade, in Shelby, in Frenchtown, in every town in between, to inherit an economy and a society shaped entirely by decisions made outside our state? Or do we want agency? Do we want to step up, to engage with industry and government leaders and shape an AI transformation that is connected to our treasure state values, grounded in our land-grant mission, and governed by the conviction that we are using this technology for exactly what it is? It is a tool to enhance our future rather than dismantle it. For Montana State University, your land-grant university, this choice to lead is made both out of our natural instinct and because we have a responsibility. Our instinct is to meet the biggest challenges and address them head on. Our responsibility is to serve our states and our state in this, serve our students and our state in this moment in a way that no one else can. Others could lead, but I believe that ultimately the path of leadership runs through this university. Private industry will play a role. It leads by developing products, developing potential, driving the innovation, but private industry's obligation is always going to be to its owners and shareholders. The profit motive is not a flaw in our system. It is in most respects an engine, but it will not in itself ask the harder questions, the ethical questions, the questions about what an economy looks like when the nature of work itself is transformed, and what we owe each other in that moment. On the other hand, government has a role too. Regulations and laws are important, and I believe good faith efforts will be made in that direction. But I say this with a whole lot of affection and with state leaders in the room. Government can sometimes be slow and sometimes be reactive. The moment we're entering right now demands genuine intellectual innovation pursued with urgency and without a partisan lens. And of course, there are certainly other sectors of society with leadership roles to play. Communities of faith, nonprofit organizations, and of course the family home. But when it comes to large, complex organizations with the public interest in mind, that leaves us. And I love that it is us. It is the university, our Montana State University that is called to step into this moment. We are the institution that exists by design and tradition to pursue knowledge without fear, to ask the inconvenient questions, to train the next generation, not merely for the economy that exists today, but to shape the economy that is coming, to ensure that the benefits of this transformation reach every corner of Montana, reservations, the High Line, the ranches, our Class 2A cities, and all Class C towns. And I am confident we will lead successfully. And that comes from three things: our faculty, our staff, and of course, our Bobcat students. Our faculty are already choosing, course by course, major by major, department by department, how and where and why to build new skills and learning outcomes related to AI into their curriculum. They are doing it thoughtfully, not recklessly. Beyond the classroom, too, our faculty are working alongside students in labs and in the field and are turning new technologies toward Montana's most pressing challenges. We are deploying precision agriculture tools to protect the wheat harvest from sawfly larvae. We're working through our EPSCoR Smart Fires project to optimize prescribed burn strategies in our forests. Our faculty are asking necessary questions about when and whether AI has a legitimate role in supporting creative scholarship across the arts. Our nursing faculty, operating across all 5 of those campuses around Montana, are putting the latest tools in the hands of Bobcat nurses to support rural health in communities that have too often gone underserved. And we are working directly with our tribal partners to identify new pathways to connect with and support Indigenous students and communities across Montana. And look, I've got to be careful here. That's only a partial list. But I want you to feel what I feel when I say our faculty are at work. And I feel a sense of deep, settled optimism when I see them at work. And our faculty have been the engine of this university's excellence for 133 years, since 1893. And they are the engine of our readiness to lead right now. And it is our faculty, specifically in their mentoring and the human connections they make with our students, that I see the promise to keep this transformation bounded within the ethical. That is not the work of an algorithm. That is the work of people who care. And that same spirit is certainly true of our staff. In every college and department across MSU, in the library, in student support, in student services, in admissions, in human resources, in information technology, in finance and administration, in campus facilities, of course in Bobcat athletics. Across our campus, our staff are exploring how AI can help us become more student-centered, more efficient, and more creative in everything we do. Our staff, thank you, Kayla, are the backbone of this institution, and they feel my confidence every single day. They also fuel my confidence every single day. I believe in them. If you do know me at all, and thank you again, Jeff Corpy, you know what I believe in most is our students. And it is always our students who unlock my most boundless enthusiasm about Montana State's readiness for what comes next. I told you a little bit earlier about Dorianne Kaiser. She is extraordinary. But our promise is not only carried on by Dorianne, or even by the constellation of scholarship winners and honor students and Bobcat student athletes and student government leaders who represent us so brilliantly. Our promise lives in every single one of our more than 17,000 current Bobcats. Montana State University is only what it is today, one of the very finest land-grant universities in the country because of our students. They are why we are here, and they are why any of this matters. The coming generation of Bobcats, growing in number every single year, are defined by intellectual horsepower and personal integrity, by the kind of street sensibility and farm-earned grit that you cannot manufacture in a curriculum, and by an ambition that genuinely takes my breath away when I encounter it close up. The optimism we feel about Montana State's next chapter and our confidence that we can lead through this transformative moment is fueled, above all, by the faith that we all have in our students. Not just to learn from us, but to challenge us, to inspire us, to show us in ways large and small which direction is actually forward, both before and after they cross that graduation stage in the brick. And our leadership, starting with myself as president, is entirely committed to building the infrastructure our faculty, staff, and students need to do all of this. We are in the early innings. Opening day was last week. We're in the early innings of our new strategic planning process. This will be MSU's first new strategic plan in more than 7 years. And as president, I've made it clear, this plan will be defined as much by the rigor and inclusivity of the process we use to write it as by the document itself. We're gathering insights and ideas from students, staff, and faculty and communities that comprise our university. The plan will be bold. It will be connected to our land-grant mission at every turn. And it will be built around 3 or 4 ambitious projects that cross disciplinary boundaries, that link our campus to our communities and our state in exciting new ways. These projects are definitely yet to be determined, but in various shapes and forms, they will express our commitment to building the infrastructure we need to harness the power of the AI transformation, expanding our core research facilities, dramatically increasing our computational capacity, growing our interdisciplinary institute on artificial intelligence with new research initiatives, new expertise, a serious investment in the ethics of AI, and new mechanisms to bring AI solutions to communities in all 56 counties. That strategic plan will be a blueprint, not just for Montana State's future, but for the future of our entire state. And yes, for the future of the American experiment itself. And because it will be crafted with an open mind, built from the ground up by the people who make this university what it is, that will determine its success. And we're getting there. You know, I've been talking for a little while, and I've been told time and time again that one of the most important mental instruments that a president can develop is an internal alarm clock. One finely tuned to ring loudly when the time has come to stop talking. And I fully intend to develop that instrument, but obviously today was not that day. What I do have, though, and it almost never fails me, is another kind of sixth sense, and it's an incredible sixth sense. It's one that tells me with incredible precision when my wife and daughters are sitting out there thinking, Dad, you're going way too long, shut up. And it's telling me that right now. So here is my message, my wrap-up message to this university, and it's to the entire state of Montana. On this day, April 2nd, 2026. It is the honor of my lifetime to serve as the 13th president of Montana State University. We have so much to celebrate. 133 years of history, a decade of growth that is unrivaled in breadth and intensity. Momentum, real, earned, undeniable momentum, and it's pointing us forward towards a future full of possibility. And as your president, I'm inheriting all of that momentum, and I intend to honor it, not by holding on to what we've already built, but by accelerating off the momentum. Let us not think of standing atop peaks and mountaintops, admiring this view. Let us look around at each other, at this extraordinary community of students and faculty and staff and alumni and partners, and recognize this moment for what it is. It's a base camp, a magnificent, hard-earned base camp. And then let us grab hands with our students and with the state that we serve, and let's shift our gaze upward together and begin our next ascent with clear eyes and the deep confidence that our country needs from its land-grant leader as we stride forward and make good on the promise of the grand American experiment. Thank you all so much. I so appreciate you. I so appreciate everyone who made today possible. I want to thank the Montanans, the Bobcat Singers, Lucas Graff, everyone who provided this beautiful setting, the beautiful food that we're enjoying today. And you know I'm not going to let you off the hook without doing this. This is my first official opportunity to lead you all in a Go Cats Go cheer, and we're going to wrap it up with that. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Go Cats Go! Thank you all so very much.
we invite you to join the Montanans at this time for the singing of MSU's alma mater, Fair MSU. Words can be found in the back of your program. I'd ask you to indulge me and please be seated for just a second. So, President Tessman, I'd like you to take pause and reflect on those individuals who are in this room today. First of all, I'd like to ask the Tessman family to stand up and remain standing. I'm going to be calling on some groups. I'm going to ask you to stand and please remain standing. Friends of the Tessmans, please stand. I would ask students of Montana State University to please stand. I would ask our state's leadership, I would ask that our state's individuals who serve in the Office of the Commissioner of Higher Education and our Board of Regents members to please stand. I would ask the faculty of Montana State University to please stand. Staff members of Montana State University, please stand. Did I say students? Yes, thank you. Students, I would ask the deans of our colleges, the members of the executive committee. I would ask the friends and alumni of Montana State University, anyone in the room, please stand. Oh, anyone in the room, yes, that's you too. President Tessman, I'd like you to reflect on these individuals who are poised to stand with you as we leave this base camp in moving onward and upward to our next adventures. And they're here to support you and to support their university, Montana State. Who knew we were going to do so much standing and sitting? Would you please sit? Before we conclude today's ceremonies, let us also share a special thanks to some individuals who made this day possible. To Sam Stewart, to Lucas Groff, to Wonky Lee, to Aaron Hankey, and the MSU Montanans for providing all of our musical selections today. To the volunteers, sound and lighting technicians, Montana PPS, Strand Union staff, University catering team, Tom Watson, and all the individuals behind the scenes. To the Bobcat singers who provided the honor song. Finally, a special thank you to Leonardo Mara, who is leading the logistics and organization for the presidential inauguration events all this week. We would ask that you kindly stay seated until all members of the platform party have exited the stage, and then we invite you to join for a community reception in the back of the ballrooms. Another congratulations to President Tessman as he and his family officially join the Bobcat family. Awkward pause. And finally, From the bottom of your Bobcat hearts, once again in unison, we'll be shouting "Go Cats Go" on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Cats Go! Thank you so much.